everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Fiddle. Today we are going to finish up the tiny pieces for the tiny house by making the beds and hanging the curtains. Before we get started, don't forget to check the link in the description box labeled Scavenger Hunt. That will take you to a free printable pattern where you can make this stuff for yourself. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button because it helps me out a lot. We're going to start with the beds first, and I've made quite a few different versions, but I'm going to show you the simplest one that I found. For this style of bed, we don't need the headboard, but if you wanted to make one out of wood, I gave you the pattern piece for the option. We're going to begin by cutting our mattress. I used a piece of really soft foam. If you wanted to use something harder or even craft foam, that would work just as well. If you use something thin, you can add a cardstock backing and that'll help give it some structure. But you don't want to go too thick because it is a very tiny bed. Okay, so my tiny upholstery skills are not the greatest. I used some fabric that was a little too sheer and you can see the yellow foam through it. I could have double layered it as well, that would have helped. Next, add glue to the back side of your piece and set it in the center of your piece of fabric with the glue side up. I tried a few different ways to fold this and ended up going with a envelope type fold. I think if I were to do it again, I would glue the short ends first and then the long ends. Start by adding a dab of glue on the corners of your fabric. Then fold them in to meet the center, making a triangular point. Then fold the triangle piece over until it matches the edge of your cushion. For the other end, I folded down just a bit of the edge and tacked it down. You can use whatever method you prefer. Next, we're going to make the base of the bed. I made 4 beds in all. For 2 of them, I used cardboard and the other 2 I used wood. For the legs, you'll need the first notch of 4 fancy-ended toothpicks. For the head and footboard, you'll need some trim from Dollar Tree. I thought the white part made a good arch, and the tan gave it some detail. Start by cutting a small section off of your roll. Cut it in half lengthwise, and we'll have both a top and bottom part for our bed. Next, glue the headboard to the base. We want to make sure to get it centered. Repeat the same process for the base of the bed. After it dried, I went back over it with some watered down glue to hold the little strands in place. To help the blankets look more realistic, we're going to need some thin fabric and watered down glue. Cut the fabric just over what you think you'll need and completely soak it in the watered down glue. Then dress your bed as you would like. I went for a messy, unmade bed. To help hold it in place while it dried, I used paper clamps. Be sure to keep your glue water handy, we'll need it for the next part. And you'll probably notice that that's not the same bed. I don't have a close-up of the one that we just made, somehow. Anyway, onto the curtains. You'll need a toothpick and thin fabric along with our watered down glue. The toothpick will be our curtain rod and you can cut it to the length that you would like. Once you've done that, lay your rod on a piece of plastic. That will help us peel it off later. Next, soak your fabric in the watered down glue. To start the pleats, you're going to use your fingers, fold it into the accordion style. Once you've made a few pleats, lay it down over top of your curtain rod where you want it to hang. Now you can finish adding the pleats and make the curtain hang where you want it to. Then repeat the process for the other side of the window. Add a line of glue over top of your curtain along your curtain rod. I would suggest something other than regular tacky glue because it does stay white when it dries. Cut a long thin strip of your fabric and we're going to start the same way by doing the accordion style fold in our fingers. Once you have a few folds in, lay it over top of your glue starting one side of your rod, then accordion fold it across, making sure that you're touching the glue with each fold. I used a paintbrush to help me with this, but any tool that's straight and narrow and about the size of the pleats you want would work perfect. Once you've gone completely across your window, you can make adjustments until it's to your liking, then set it aside to dry. If you're trying to use a thicker fabric, this is another option for a type of window where you roll the end of the fabric over your toothpick. Just one last thing to do, and that's to glue the curtains in place in the house. And with that, it brings us to the end of our tutorial and to the tiny house series. I hope this gives you some ideas for your next project. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment because it really helps me out a lot. The next tutorial will be getting back into longer videos and it'll be on a 6-sided bed. Thank you, Ginger, and I'll see you next time.